What do you think is KER?
KER is a platform where we get to express our views, and not just we are expressing. We are also listening and learning out of that. And from KER, I and the other students also get a platform to learn, and all that learning, all that sharing, they take back to their school, community, or in the city and try to develop it. That's I feel what KER is to me.
So what change do you want to see in the future?
I want to see is every kid is understanding what the teachers is teaching, and currently in our school everyone is not making bond with the teacher, like that strong bond. So I want in the future that every student with the teacher have a connective bond, so they can understand each other problem and the education would be better.
So would you like to give a word that can actually define a teacher and a student working?
There's no such word, because that bond is very strong. If it should be very connective, so for that it's very hard to express in some words, because the connection, if it's very strong, there are no words to define it.
Welcome to the National Summit. So my first question to you is that what have you observed something's different that you never see and you saw in the KER National Summit?
Kids basically demanding that their voice is heard, making sure that they have to be listened to, that teachers have to actually take their opinion on board, and everyone having that openness to new experience. For example, I love that moment at the end of day 1. Everyone was dancing right until that last moment, and they were like, we want music, we want music, we want music. This idea of saying that we are the ones that get to shape what we do in the classroom, outside of the classroom, and that finally, that when this has been a big part of kids' education revolution, you can see it's not just for show, it's not just for talk, it has actually started to impact how kids interact with students, or with teachers, and I think that's really important.
So why do you think that the voice of the students matters?
Because I think education is finally about students, right? So unless I can focus on these things and get their voice into the conversation, I'm going to design an education experience that I think they should do. Whereas if I get their voice on board, I'm going to design an education that both of us can participate in and that we can all actually benefit from.
So what will you design something which will be different and which will help the student in your education?
Coming back and moving back, when I go back to as a teacher, I think ensuring that at the beginning of every single process that we start, that the students have an opportunity to say what they wish it to be, why they're learning it, what they're learning, and who they're learning for. Like you guys have said, you don't want it to be all exams, you want it to be more interesting, you want it to be more fun, and I think being involved in that, and as an educator, I want to have more fun. I also don't want to be standing in front of the blackboard going, okay, now English A, B, C, D. I want to be doing real world experiences. I want to be learning about myself. And I think if you guys are speaking that and I have the opportunity to go back and do that in my classroom, I think KER will have been a success.
What is your reason for coming here at the National Summit?
We heard, we checked this website on this Google, and we came here to make, actually we didn't have a lot of purpose to be here. We didn't thought of this will be having. Our main purpose was to just enjoy and make a lot and lots of friends and to learn. It's the main thing. We wanted to learn.
What does an excellent education look like to you?
An excellent education have all the features as I said that I can see here: teamwork, collaboration, helping, creative, and lots of adjectives when mixed together it makes a word called excellent. And excellent means giving your best.
Yeah.
And education is knowledge. So giving your best in all the fields that you go. So I think that's
What is excellent education is?
What can others, like the people who are not here, learn from KER?
In a scenario where children are more actively participating, it doesn't mean that adults don't have a voice, that they don't have a responsibility. I think the point here is that everybody has a voice and everybody has a responsibility and a role to play. And that I think that what adults need to learn is that it's not anything to be afraid of when children begin to be more actively participating in their own educations, and that they're not going to be pushed out of the picture, but the picture is going to change.